Esperade is a 1998 bullet hell game developed by Cave, more widely known for the Dodonpachi series. The game is centered around three characters with psychic powers who are trying to stop an evil organization from taking over Tokyo. It reminds me a lot of the influential 1988 anime film Akira. The game has a very sick art direction and very intense gameplay, and I decided to do a 1cc run of this game. And if you don't already know, 1cc basically being a term in the arcade game community that refers to beating a game without getting a game over, basically. So let's get right into it. What up, y'all? It's GK here. This is my 1cc run of Esperade. This was very tough, one of the hardest games I've ever played, and I'm very proud of this run. So I'm going to go over some of the strategies and techniques I used to get through this game. The character I chose was JB Fifth. A lot of people say Yusuke is the best character to choose because Yusuke kind of does more damage, but I went with JB Fifth because JB Fifth just looked cooler to me. I just followed my heart on that one. So let's get into the replay. This first stage is pretty straightforward, so I'm going to use this as a chance to go over the basics. You'll see the enemies are dropping these blocks with the letter P on them. These items basically increase your bullet damage. You have a max amount that you can increase your bullet damage to. You have two types of bullets. You have the yellow straight ahead shot, and then you have the spread out purple shot. The yellow shot does bigger damage. The purple shot does more gradual small damage, and it also slows down your movement, which is very crucial when it comes to doing smaller, more precise dodges. So we're getting through this level. I'm about to max out my damage right now, and now that I've maxed out my damage, you'll see that enemies are dropping these orange cubes. If you look on the bottom screen right here, the maximum amount of cubes I can get right now is 200. I can increase that limit, and that's going to be key later on in the game. We're going to talk more about that later, but just keep that in mind. Right here, I'm kind of staying low to the screen to dodge the incoming fire from these big ships. I love the aesthetic of this stage too. Honestly, the general vibe and art direction of this game is incredible. That's why I chose to play this game. That's what made me gravitate to it in the first place. So we're getting through it. Watch out for these red suit guys too. They can catch you by surprise sometimes. So this first boss, a lot of people call it routing. I like to call it choreography. I go left, middle, left, take out the left leg. There's damageable parts in this game. Then I hit the right leg. I kind of stay to the right to avoid that bullet barrage. Come back to the middle, bullet cancel. And then this part is pretty straightforward. You kind of just stay between these blue tunnels right here. Keep in mind too, at the beginning when I was shooting those legs, the closer you are to enemies, the more damage you do. So it's called point blank damage basically. So keep that in mind. But as long as you follow that choreography, you should be able to take out that enemy, that boss pretty easily. This second stage is also pretty straightforward, especially the beginning. The enemies aren't super aggressive on the second stage. Again, watch out for those blue suit guys. They will take you by surprise sometimes if you're not paying attention. I'm going to take out this building, this tank on the building over here. If you don't, things can get kind of crazy, can kind of get out of control if you're not careful. Also take out those red guys too. They kind of keep coming back, but try to take out as many as you can so that things don't get crazy. There's a mini boss coming up, and this mini boss also has some choreography to it. I go at the top, move down, left, move diagonal up, move left, down, and then boom. You should be able to hit it every time consistently without having to do too many micro dodges. As much as you can, you want to have some parts fully memorized and choreographed, because a big part of shmups is managing your mental stack. So the more parts you have that are down to muscle memory, that you have choreographed and that you're comfortable with, the less mental load that you have to deal with. And a big part of this genre is managing your nerves and managing your mental stack so that you can stay calm and not have to worry about too much. It's a big mental game. It's a battle with yourself in this genre a lot of the time. So if you look at that school below, you'll see these 3 enemies waiting. They're going to pop up. I kind of stay to the left and then slide to the right and slide back to the middle to dodge those blue bullets. And then now we're facing the second boss. He's always going to do that curved pattern at the beginning, and then it's going to be just random patterns for the rest of the fight. Curved pattern again. You don't want to move around too much on that pattern. For that straight ahead line pattern, usually what I do for the most part is I try to just do small micro dodges to the left or to the right. You should avoid them. Every time you get his health down a phase, if you see those bars at the top, if you get a phase down, he'll call out those funnels. This pattern is tough. Okay, he's calling out the funnels again. I get close, and then this pattern right here, I kind of slowly do that movement right there. And then this pattern right here, if I don't see a gap, I kind of just go to the left corner. But if you do see the gap in the middle, you can kind of just stay there and it'll happen again. Okay, right here. You see that? I just knew his health was going to get low, so I bullet canceled that and just kept shooting. Gradually move down. You should be able to bullet cancel before it hits you for that funnel pattern. And then I just bombed the end. There's a reason I bombed the end, and we're going to talk about that. This has to do with those orange cubes I mentioned earlier. So at the beginning of this level, now you're going to see the enemies are dropping these green energy items. These refill my bomb meter at the bottom. You'll see my green meter refilling at the bottom. So whenever you get the maximum amount of orange cubes, enemies will be able to drop those green items as long as you've used some of your meter. Now, if your green meter is maxed out, the game won't drop any green energy until you've used some of that meter again. And now you see that the maximum amount of cubes I can get has increased to 300 from 200. Now that means that the amount of time that the game will drop those green energy items, it'll be 300 milliseconds. I don't know the actual time, but you'll see the timer is higher basically as you increase the limit. So you have a higher amount of time to get those energy items the more you increase your limit of orange cubes. So once I get to 300 cubes, I'll have another chance to increase it to 400 basically. This part, you just route this part basically. If you follow the route that I'm going on the screen, a lot of it is just muscle memory. Right here, I kind of messed up. I just bombed because I messed up. Sometimes you'll have to do emergency bombs too. Point blank that ship, move up, move through that little gap right there, and then we're working our way up. Again, take out those tanks, because if you don't take out those tanks, they'll fire these red bullets that makes things get out of control. So we're on the third boss now. So right here, I kind of stayed to the left and try to take out that left gun. Again, damageable parts. Kind of work my way slightly to the left to avoid that pink bullet pattern. And then right here, this kind of just takes some practice. There's a rhythm to it for sure, but it just takes some practice and you'll kind of see the gaps you need to dodge in between. Then we're micro dodging to the left. Again, those pink bullets, be careful. Don't go too far left because that blue pattern can trap you. Now, right here, I'm going to bomb. I'm just going to bomb because this pattern, again, is a bit overwhelming. And a lot of times, like I said before, sometimes you just need to bomb to reduce mental stack, to reduce your mental load. Even if you think you might be able to dodge a pattern, sometimes you just want to bomb to keep things simple and not, you know, create too much mental stress for yourself. You want to keep your nerves down as much as possible. This is the hardest stage in the game. I try to stay low when dodging these red bullets. And the routing at the beginning of the stage is very important because there's an extra life on this train right there. And coming up is a mini boss, and I want to show a trick right here. I bomb and stay still. As long as you're staying still after that blue pattern, the pink pattern won't hit you. You'll have to dodge the next blue pattern, and then I kind of move up the side on the next pink pattern. Now, I don't kill that boss because, and I'm going to pause it right here because I do want to talk about this. I don't kill that boss because if you kill that boss, there will be another section that pops up where you have to kill a bunch of ships, and it makes it harder to line myself up for this mini boss that comes right here. And this mini boss, if you aren't careful, it will get out of control. What I do, and I've seen people get past this part when they let the bullets kind of get out of control. That's not what I do. This is what I do at this part. I just stay right here, barely move, boom, gone. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So yeah, that's how I go about that part. It's kind of my specific little trick that I do. So yeah, this part's kind of annoying too. I find that the best thing to do is be a bit aggressive. You know, don't play scared on this part. If I play too defensive, things get kind of out of hand. So I try to point blank as many enemies as possible at this part. This part right here in particular too is kind of tough. You just kind of gotta practice it a lot. It's a very overwhelming pattern. I don't have any bomb meter left. Coming up, I'm about to lose a life. I usually get this part. I don't know. But this level is just so overwhelming that sometimes you can't predict what part you're going to die at. Usually I try to die at the boss that's coming up right here, but now because I lost a life already, I have to lock in and make sure I stay alive. So this boss is pretty straightforward, but it's, again, very overwhelming. There's really no trick to a lot of the patterns here. You're kind of just tap dodging and making sure you lock in. So on this pattern in particular though, I try to stay at the corner right there and kind of just tap left, right at that right corner. This pattern is probably the easiest of all the patterns. You can kind of see the gaps once you practice it enough. I know it looks kind of crazy right now if you're new to the game, but yeah, you can just look for the gaps and kind of move between them. This right here, you kind of just tap dodge too. And then this pattern, I just bomb. Again, keeping the nerves down, keeping my mental stack low. Also keep in mind too, when you're shielding your bomb, it turns the bullets, it absorbs the bullets and it increases your damage. It also turns the bullets into orange items. And there we go. I got 4 lives left, so we're doing pretty good. This is where I like to be around this time. Also, keep in mind, your score gives you extra lives. I know y'all probably noticed that my lives have increased at the top left of the screen. When you get to 4 million, you get an extra life, and when you get to 8 million, you get another extra life. This is the final stage. This isn't as hard as the 4th stage, in my opinion. But it's still pretty tough. You still have to make sure you know your routes. There's some choreography coming up right here. It goes point blank damage, stay close. Move left and then move right. Move left. Then as you're moving right, kill those enemies on the side because things can get overwhelming if you don't. Move right and then move left to dodge that incoming fire. Point blank, bullet cancel, boom. And then we're moving up. Again, making sure you get as close as possible to kill the enemies as fast as possible with that point blank damage. And then, you know, these tanks coming up, I try to kill them as fast as possible to make sure the bullets don't get overwhelming. Yeah, these enemies have high health too, so make sure you confirm the kills before you move on to the next enemy. Now, I don't have any bomb right here, so I'm going to have to... I usually bomb this part. But I had to lock in, basically. So, yeah, sometimes if you don't have bomb, you just have to lock in. You have to have some kind of emergency lock-in method that you have ready to get past some of these parts. This part's pretty straightforward, too. The bullets aren't super fast. You just got to learn your spots, follow the routing. I'm really mad I messed up this part. I usually kill that little thing that's firing all the pink bullets, but I didn't get it this time for some reason. But once you get in front of it, it'll stop firing the pink bullets. So right now I'm trying to take care of this final rush before the next boss. It's getting kind of crazy. I died, which I needed to anyway because I kind of need bomb meter for this boss because this boss is very weak to bomb, actually, to bomb damage. I move in a circle. Make sure you're touching the edges of the screen. As long as you're touching the edges and moving in a circle, things shouldn't hit you. Also keep in mind, because you're going to see after I bomb this next part, or after you bomb certain parts in general, you actually have a little bit of invincibility afterwards. You're going to notice this on the final boss that we're about to reach in a few. But you have a little bit of invincibility once you bomb. So you can kind of use that to just get some extra shot damage in after you've used your bomb. And then you're kind of just, this is hard to explain. I love this level, by the way, thematically, the clones just attacking you at the bottom. Just very Akira coded. You're just kind of moving left, right, kind of slowly working your way. Don't move too fast. Then I hit that left. Slide to the right real fast. Hit the middle to take care of that beetle. Come back right. Then slowly work your way left. Keep shooting. Don't stop shooting because you need to kill the enemies. Then move back right. I'm kind of just working my way through the gaps. And then I move up at the end. Circle around. These clones are about to jump around. You got to be very careful when you're moving here. Now, I tried to work my way up to the left. That's what I usually do. But I think I didn't. Something went wrong. And I just said, oh, screw it. I'm going to move to the right. And I'm glad I made that decision because it probably would have ended up really bad for me if I kept trying to move up to the left. Again, sometimes you have to improvise in this game. Sometimes you just got to freestyle. So we're approaching the final boss now. I'm getting these last energy items. Here we go. Now, look, y'all, this part, again, this part in particular, there's no trick to it. I try to have some shield / bomb meter because it is so intense that sometimes you get like that right there. You just need to emergency shield, emergency bomb sometimes, because if you get nervous, if you feel like you're about to mess up, just hit that shield because it's a very intense boss. The patterns are just random, overwhelming. They're slow down. the bullets can get fast. Like right here, I have one sliver of bomb meter left. Fire that off because I felt like I was gonna mess up, and now I have no meter left, and I have to just lock in because I gotta have as many resources as possible for this final part. So yeah, as you can see, it's just crazy, and I managed to make it out. I don't know how, but I just had to lock in. My hands were shaking, my heart was beating. It gets kind of crazy. So we're at the final part. I try to do kind of a fade away kind of motion here, kind of moving left and right between those patterns. Rain down on me, la 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 let it. And then you kind of dodge those parts. You kind of just keep dodging, and I'm trying to last as long as possible. Once you die, you get your meter back. And now, what I like to say for this boss, or what I like to do for this boss, is if I have bomb meter, I just let it fly and then let it just drain all of it, and then try to dodge after you have no bomb meter left. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to die while you have meter, because that's wasted resources. So you want to use as much as you can and then dodge to the best of your ability until you die. So right here, I misdirect the red bullets to the left corner and then slowly work my way to the middle. I try to move up to get some point blank damage. And I'm trying to dodge as much as I can. Okay. I got a good amount of damage in, so we got our meter back. And this part right here, again, use all your resources. Now, this next part, this final phase that's about to happen, when you fire your bomb, the boss will try to escape off the screen. But you can kind of follow her when she tries to escape by looking at which she nudges in a direction right there. So now you know to go to the right. That's how you predict what direction she's going to try to escape to, is that she'll nudge right there. And then you see she nudged to the right. Now you can move up to the right. And a sliver of health left. And final blow, 1 CC. And that's how I did it. That's how I got the 1 CC on Esperade. Or Esperade. So yeah, y'all, this was really tough, but I'm very proud of this. Yeah, it took a lot of practice. It took me about 200 plus hours. And yeah, this was very intense, but that's how we did it. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's the 1 CC for Esperade. Comment if you have thoughts, support if you like, and subscribe to support. It's GK. Peace out.